All right. All right. We're here. We're here on a Wednesday night. We're here. All right. All right. How's everybody doing on Wednesday night? Let's start this off. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. I'm your host, the intellectual Lord Benjamin Manhattan, and this is Supreme American TV. And tonight we're going to be speaking about where did the Africans from the transatlantic slave trade really go? We're going to really get into that. But before we do, definitely before we do, in the name of Lord Amen, in the name of Lord Amen, the Supreme, the all-powerful, the one and only true living force, in Lord Amen we trust, in Lord Amen we think, and in Lord Amen we continue forward forever. So let's get off into this. All right, so we've been hearing this nonsense for over a good part of the last millennium, of so-called Black Americans, right? So-called Black Americans coming from Africa on a transatlantic slave trade. For those of you who don't know, this is a so-called a slave trade that went where it brought Africans. This is what we're told. Africans were brought in. Africans were brought in to America to work, to do slave labor. All right, that's what they were told. And they try to make it seem like prior to these Africans being brought into the Americas, there were no so-called Black people in the Americas. And that's not what they say. They say prior to these Africans being brought into America, there were no black people here. Is that not the lie they tell? That the first Africans arrived on the shores in Virginia in 1620, right? So they tell you that there was no black people here before they were brought here by the Europeans. Is that not what they tell us? Is that not what we've been led to believe? Good evening, everybody. That's what they tell us, right? Prior to that, there was no black people here. Now, we know that's a lie because we can read in the journals of Italian and English explorers who came into the Americas and reported in the 1500s, going back to the 1500s, reporting that the population, the populace of people, the indigenous people, they made reference to them as copper-colored people, people with dark skin and bushy hair, right? And they likened them unto the Ethiopians of the old times. They call Ethiopia pretty much everybody in Africa Ethiopians. That was a time. Not the Ethiopians of the day. The Ethiopians of today are mixed race. They're mixed with Arabs. They're not purebred people. The Ethiopians of the day are mixed with Arabs and some African in them, but they're not purebreds. The Ethiopians they were talking about were the darker Ethiopians, the one that they were making reference to. They said we resemble, or the indigenous people found here in the Americas, the Indians were resembling the Ethiopians of Africa, meaning in skin complexion they were dark brown or bronze, right? They're not making mention of any Mongolian-looking Native Americans with straight hair. They're talking about an indigenous people here in the Americas. Even when they get to the description of the hair, you do know that naturally Black Americans grow long hair. Naturally, Black Americans grow long hair. Now, the women, when they hair is short like that, when their hair comes out like that, that's usually because they done put all kinds of perms in it. They done stressed it out with braids and everything else, all these hairstyles, and they took their hair out. Same way when men brush their hair too much, it ends up making the hair come out, recede. That's why a lot of our people lost our hair, but left alone in this natural state, we grow long hair. So whenever they try to make reference to, they ain't your people because they're talking about people have long, straight hair. You see people like Snoop Dogg and them who had their hair wrapped up and whatnot. They could blow it, they could iron out their hair and whatnot, and it'll be straight. Straight doesn't mean straight like those people, again, who are Native Americans. It just means people who had their hair. They used stuff like beard grease and everything to do their hair. Everybody wasn't walking around with their hair all out. Not everybody was walking around with it tightly coiled. We got, just like today, we got people with different ranges of hair amongst our people. Just like today. You see? So now in real time, the question of our people coming in from Africa into North America, and Tariq Nasheed, I got to make reference to him, not to beat up on Tariq Nasheed, but Tariq Nasheed said that only a small percentage of Africans, like 3%, I remember him saying, and not just him, I heard people also say that only 3% of Africans came into the Americas. But did they come into North America? They said it went from the story now is 70,000. They brought 70,000 Africans here, right? So then I'm saying I don't even think they brought no 70,000 Africans here, because not into North America, because where is the African influence? If you dumped all these Africans off from Africa, where is the African influence? Where's the African influence in America? Where is it at? I'd like to know. You see, the Africans in the transatlantic slave trade, they didn't make that many trips to bring Africans over because it wasn't even worth the money. They just enslaved the people there. They tried to bring some Africans in to pick up the slack, because a lot of people were free and a lot of people was not trying to hear being in bondage and servitude to these Europeans and these other people that was coming. So what they did was they went out and got Africans because a lot of our people wasn't going to work, no matter what you killed them or not. So this is why they started bringing Africans over. Because ask yourself a question: why would you bring Africans over when you got a population of people there that you can enslave? Answer obviously is because they wasn't going for that. Rather than say that they had to try and bring Africans over as an alternative, because again, if it was just so easy to run over our people and control our people, then they would have just enslaved everybody here, which they didn't. They never enslaved. Everybody wasn't a slave. You see, this is why they had slave breeding farms in places like Virginia, because they knew that, and they would kidnap children. That's really how the slave trade was built. They would kidnap teenagers, children, have babies with them. And sometimes the slave master would sexually assault them, get them pregnant. You hear about a lot of reportings of these Caucasian slave masters sexually assaulting and raping young girls and getting them pregnant and whatnot. That's, you see, they wanted children because, see, you can train children. They kidnapped children. They wanted to have farms where they basically, and they had that slave breeding farms where they would basically breed these people to be slaves, because it was harder to take an adult who'd been free all their life and try to make them into a slave. You're not going to do it. They're going to fight you. So they would kidnap children. That's the term kidnap came from, kidnap. Basically take children. To take children and put them into bondage. They do that to this day. Children disappear all the time, especially black children disappear all the time. You see, you don't know where they turn up at. Organ farms, harvesting organ farms, or taking them. Next thing you know, they raising them to be slaves. You got a degenerate group of people that do stuff like they'll take black children and make them disappear and take their lives or put them in slavery. Just some madness, some degenerate madness from these sick people. But the majority of those slaves that came from Africa, they went into South America. They went to South America and they went into the islands. That's where they went. And you know how you know that? Because you can find African culture in South America. You can find their voodoo and their Ogun and Oshun religions in South America. Don't they practice that over there? They practice those African religions over there in South America. Voodoo and all this Ogun stuff over there, and in the islands as well. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? Do you not see that? Do they not practice? They'll tell you that the religions they practice over there, other than Christianity, which they get from the white man, the religion they practice, the African religion, is that voodoo and all that other stuff, and that, you know, and those orishas and all that. That's what they practice over there in South America. You see, South America, Central America. You know, because the Africans were brought in and mixed in amongst some of the indigenous Americans over there, the brown skinned indigenous Americans. Not all, not going to say all, but there is an African presence there, and certain people got mixed in with those Africans. But that's the majority of where it went. And how you know they didn't bring them into North America is because they already had a system going here of people who knew how to do work, who knew how to do what they needed to do. So they would need to bring Africans here. To bring Africans into North America, which was a cotton producing, you know, we produced a lot of stuff here in the islands for the most part. The only thing that was really produced in the islands and in South America was sugar cane. Sugar cane was a main source of economy there. That's why they had the Africans come there and they would just chop the sugar cane. But here in America, it wasn't just sugar cane; it was cotton, sugar cane, it was just crops and harvested crops and things like this. Our people built the economy here in America. So why would you bring Africans over to mess that up? Especially Africans who are tribal people. You wouldn't bring tribal people over into America to do that kind of work when you got people here that's doing it already. And again, where is the African influence? Where is their religions? Again, if 70,000, 80,000, even 100,000 Africans were brought into America, where is their cultural influence? Where is anybody here to show and prove that they got African ancestry? And I don't want to hear 23andMe and all that other nonsense and Ancestry.com, because they tell you that past the DNA test, past the fourth generation, third generation, fourth generation, past that, it's inconclusive. So they can't match no DNA of us to no African. Don't believe that bullshit they tell y'all where they say, oh, when you get your findings back, they tell you, oh, you got this part of European in you, which is supposed to be white. You got some African in you. You got this percentage. They making that shit up, man. They lying. They lying. They cannot trace your DNA back to no damn 100 years ago, 200 years ago. They lying. That's a lie. That's why they say that these tests are for entertainment purposes, so they're not liable, so they're not going to get sued. They tell you it's for entertainment purposes once they get your money, but see, y'all don't read the damn fine print. And because they get a lot of these entertainers, black entertainers that come on there and start talking about, oh, my people are native indigenous Americans, and then of course you get this guy, what's that guy's name? Henry Louis Gates or somebody come out and he gonna tell you that your DNA leads back to Europe somewhere, in Ireland, and you have black, you have white. That's just some stuff they make up. That's lies. They lying. They lying. You see? Right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I got cotton too. Okay. But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying a lot because they didn't really bring no Africans over here, because notice they can't even name none of these ships they brought these Africans on. The only one, even when Tariq Nasheed was pressed about what's these slave ships names, he goes, he said the Amistad, which those Africans from the Amistad, they was turned back around and sent back to where they came from. They didn't stay in America. They was turned back around. And then he said some good ship Jesus. I'm like, what? That's it? That's who brought all these slaves over here? You only know 2 ships, and those ships are questionable. Where's all these slave ships that they brought all these Africans here that we supposed to be the descendants of? Where they at? Oh, where the ships that they broke up under the water? You see all the asinine responses they give when you ask real questions. You see the asinine responses? They just make up stuff. Like I said, the biggest one is, where is African culture at? If we African, where's our African culture? Don't say, oh, we was forced not to practice it. That's not true. Because no matter what people do, the culture is going to come through regardless. So, again, people don't mind telling lies to us because they hate the truth. People don't mind telling lies to us because they hate the truth. They don't want to. The truth is that they enslaved the indigenous people. They kidnapped the children of the indigenous people. They forced and took over lands of the indigenous people, meaning black indigenous people here in America. There was no ethnogenesis. There was no African slave trade. You know why I tell you they want to keep that story going is because they don't want to admit that the original Americans are still here. That's what they don't want to admit, meaning the U.S. government, which is Caucasian ran, white ran. They don't want to admit that the real indigenous American people are still here in the Americas. This is what they don't want to admit, that the people who they've been calling black people all this time are the actual real indigenous Americans, the people they've been hiding from the spotlight and pushing these mongoloid Native Americans up in their place, saying that those are the indigenous people. You know why they do that? You know why they make it seem like the so-called Native Americans are the indigenous people of the land? You see why? You know why they do that? Because it's easy to discard them. I'm going to say it again. It's easy to discard the Native Americans. You understand what I'm saying by that? It's easy to discard them because it's not a lot of them, number one. It's not a lot of them. They're not a significant group in America. They're not. It's not a lot of them. Okay? On them reservations, that's why the white man don't mind. The government don't mind giving them money every year because the money they give the Native Americans don't really amount to nothing, you see. But they give them something as a way of keeping the secret that these people are supposedly posing as the indigenous Americans and Native, which not Native, but the indigenous American, which they're not. They're not the American Indians that were talked about in the 1500s. They're not the American Indians. The American Indians are the so-called black people whose culture and heritage is still being erased to this day. Still erasing us, still trying to Africanize us, put us under some African migration nonsense. Still trying to put us under some African migration nonsense. You see, that's why they do that. That's the reason why they do that. They do that to show their disdain for our people as the real Americans, the first Americans, the original Americans. They do that to show their disdain. That's really what that's all about. You see, that's really what that's all about. And just for the mere fact that these people sit here and try to explain away why our culture, we supposed to be African, why our culture dominates American culture, why our culture is actually American culture. You know, you got white people going around. I got this thing on PBS I wanted to show everybody. You got white people going around schools, right? White guitarists and going around schools, old white men going around schools playing blues music. They playing blues music for little children, right? And little white children. It was one black girl. I saw this, and they don't not once they just talking about blues is American music and all this other stuff, and the guys playing it. Not once do they say this music was inspired by Black Americans. Why they don't tell the children that this music was created by Black Americans? They don't never say that. They got you thinking that now these kids will grow up thinking blues. Oh, I seen white people playing blues and whatnot. You see how they steal our music. You see how they disconnect us from our own creations, our music and things like that. They just disconnect us from blues, from jazz, from R&B and everything else. They just disconnect us as a people. And why does that happen? Because again, we allow ourselves to be called black people. We allow ourselves to be called black people. We allow people to call us black people, African Americans, FBA. We allow people to call us all of these made up bootleg ass titles. Now Umar Johnson with this DAF nonsense, DAFA nonsense, a descendant of, he said, a descendant of African freedmen of America, which is the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. That just proves to you that these people see our people's evolution, our people's freedom, our people's identity as something to be played with. That's what these people show you. They see it, ADOS, a descendant of slaves. They see our identity as something to be played with. Our true American heritage, our true American lineage. There is no such thing as black lineage. There is no such thing as FBA lineage. There is no such thing as no African American lineage. Those are all lies. There is American lineage. We are American lineage. We are American culture. We are the only real Americans in America. The only real Americans by nationality who did not come from no place else. We've always been in the Americas. Now that's the truth. That is the real truth. Now I know a lot of y'all, a lot of so-called black people got this trauma. They love this trauma porn of being told that we came over here as Africans on slave ships and the white man beat us into submission and all that. No, that's not what happened. That is not what happened. The reason that when they show you the harshness of slavery and how these slaves were taking all that abuse, 9 times out of 10, those slaves you saw that was taking all that abuse and that punishment was people that were raised in slavery. That's what they had slave farms for, because they knew that if they raised people to accept that as a norm, they wouldn't fight back against it. Whereas our people wasn't trying to hear that. A lot of our people was walking off plantations. A lot of people was killing off the slave masters, killing them and taking them and burning down their plantations and stuff like that, doing all kind of stuff. So it wasn't no time. It wasn't no, where you just basically gonna just make our lives a living hell, because again, these people come from nothing. So of course, they're gonna be cruel and degenerate people because they come from nothing. They're a bunch of animals. So of course they're gonna, treat our people like animals, the indigenous people. And that hatred still exists to this day. That hatred for our people who are the real indigenous Americans still exists today. That's why I said when our people accept shit like, when our people accept stuff like African titles like African American, foundational Black American, Daffy nonsense, Umar Johnson like Daffy shit. When we accept nonsense like this, it's like we going out like punks, man. We're going out like punks when we accept anything other than who we are as first Americans. As Americans, I would just say American, but you know what I mean when I say first American. That can't be mistaken. That's our lineage. Our lineage is American lineage, first American lineage. I put the first in front of there just to show that we are the first people of the Americas. That's why. So to say anything other than the fact that we first Americans is really a sucker move. It's really a coward move. It's really showing that you would rather bury our people in a term of erasure like black rather than stand up for who we are as Americans, because you're afraid to offend Caucasian people. I'm talking about you simple mind, you Sambos out here who want to push this nonsense about us being from Africa and then we got black skin. Anybody pushing that BS to our people, or that we Moors and all this other bullshit. Anybody's pushing that nonsense to our people, man. Don't listen to them, man. Don't listen to them. They lying to our people, man. Just and obviously they probably getting a bag from these racist Caucasians to keep lying to our people. They keep telling our people we from Africa, this ain't our country, and all this other stuff. Okay, this ain't our country, yet we built the economy of this country. White people didn't build no economy of this country. We did. We built the economy of this country. Our people fought, and our people built the economy of this country. Our people fought in every war that this country had. Our people were always here in America, seeing the Europeans come here. The hell, this ain't our country. This is our country. Ain't more than anybody. So when they tell us, oh, you niggas need to go back to Africa, no, you supposed to say, no, y'all crackers need to go back to Europe. You crackers need to go back to Europe where you belong. Preferably up in the Caucasus Mountains, in the caves where you belong. That's what you tell these racist Caucasians that tell us to go back to Africa. Remind them where they come from. And they need to get their ass a one-way ticket back to Europe where they came from, up in the caves of the Caucasus Mountains, before they start telling the indigenous Americans who the hell we are. Because see, that's why I go so hard on that FBA shit, on that African American, Pan African garbage, because that's a lie. And again, those people sitting here lying to our people, they here to serve the beast, man. They here to keep our people misled, man. So you damn right, I don't got no respect for them people. This is our home. This is our home. You see? This is our home. And like I said, a lot of these goofy Sambos out here, like I said, a lot of them got a slave mentality. A lot of black people got a slave mentality. A lot of black people got a slave mentality. And because they have a slave mentality, they expect all of us to have a slave mentality. They expect us to shut up and be black. Our own people. We got our own people who want us to shut up and be black. Like them people came on here talking about, yeah, brother, why are you talking this first American thing? Why are you talking about this first American? Why don't you just be FBA and go with the flow? I'm not going with the flow. I don't go with things that are wrong. I'm not going to say something that's wrong just because it's popular. I told you that before. I don't go with the flow. I'm not going to jump off the building because everybody jumping off the building because it's a popular thing. No, I go with what's right. What's right is we American, the only real Americans. Nobody else can claim American but us. White people are not Americans. Their heritage goes back to Europe. Native Americans' heritage go back to Siberia. Black Americans' heritage goes right back to here, because if we were really Africans, they would have been calling us Africans from the start. They wasn't calling us no Africans. They never labeled us no Africans. Not until 1988. You mean to tell me it took all that time to start calling us Africans? It took all that time. They was trying to push that idea across, and they used sellouts like Marcus Garvey, black ass, to push that garbage, that back to Africa nonsense. They was giving him money to tell our people to abandon our home, and go to Africa, a place where our people never been before, so that these Caucasians could take our land, the land that we built up, the economy we built up. They just wanted to keep slaves here. In other words, they just wanted to keep a slave population here to serve them, and the free indigenous people, they wanted to send them to Africa. You see. And see, it never worked. That's what the hostility is, because again, I told you the true hostility is that they hate us because we indigenous, the real Americans. That's why we're hated, because they know deep down we're the real and only real Americans. They hate the fact that we're still here, that they can't take our culture. They can't. They trying, because why would PBS do that? Why would PBS show a white man teaching blues music to children? Why would they show, here it is, that is a so-called black art form, a black music, blues, jazz, ragtime, soul, R&B, house music, rock and roll, all that, country music, hip hop, all that's our music. All that, all the popular music is our music, part of our American culture. That's all American culture. That's all American music from the original and the first Americans. That's American music. But then these Caucasians come and start playing it. So then they start making it seem like, oh, see, blues, that ain't black people music. They sit up here playing our music, just like you don't think that country music came from black people, because they try to hide that fact. They try to hide the fact that country music comes from black people, just like all popular genres of music. The only music that comes from white people, the only semi-popular music that came from them is heavy metal. That's it. Heavy metal. Which don't nobody really like that shit. That's like a fringe music, which, if you want to call that music, that's like the drill and trap for white people. White people get famous playing our music. Even that hard rock music come from our people. You see, that hard rock and all that stuff, that's Jimi Hendrix, all that rock music, that's all Jimi Hendrix. So the popular music was created by the first Americans, and we should only be standing up as Americans, not as nothing else, not just as Americans, first Americans. We got to make it plain as first Americans, but we Americans. We are Americans by nationality. Like I said, the Italians don't have to say white Italians don't have to say that they are foundational white Italians. They don't have to say that. They just Italians. That's their lineage. Their lineage is Italian lineage. Nobody here, and that's why I say, how the hell y'all gonna sit up here and let the Caucasians and all these other people tell us that we not American and they not American? How you gonna let immigrants tell us that we not American? How are we going to sit? Why are you sitting up here listening to immigrants? The United States government is run by immigrants, European immigrants. Those people are not American. Again, you don't get to change your nationality because you come from someplace else and you now are become a native of this land, meaning that you had 1 or 2 generations born here. Now you all of a sudden American. That's not how it works. Can I get up and go to Italy and have my children in Italy and have a so-called black wife, and we have children in Italy and live there? In other words, the Algerians, because a lot of Algerians live in Italy, a lot of different groups of people live in Italy, but they're not Italian by nationality. A lot of people live in Italy that's not Italian. Okay, just like a lot of people live in America that's not American, like white people. Like Native Americans, like Latinos and all these other people, Africans. A lot of people live in America, but don't make them American. They're United States citizens, which is what they really are. They're not Americans. United States and America is 2 totally different things. The United States exists within North America. So when people talking this nonsense about we indigenous to United States of America, that's a corporation. We are indigenous to North America, South America, all the Americas. That's the reality. And like I said, the people that don't want to accept that reality, oh well. Like I said, it's a punk move. It's a punk move for our people to sit up here and let people call us out of our name. That's a punk move. You see? People, they act like, why do you call people American just because they born here? I want you to understand, why are they calling white people Americans just because they were born here? The 1828 Merriam-Webster Dictionary definition of American, who the real Americans are, tell you everything. Europeans are not Americans. So therefore, they cannot tell anybody to go back to their fucking country. Raw and uncut. They are not fitting. Y'all, I hate when y'all sit up here and let them cop this big brother attitude, or like y'all sit up here and y'all talk about America, KKK, like this some white man, this is how America is. No, this ain't how America is. This is how racist Caucasians is. Stop trying to make them the face of America. That's the goddamn problem. Y'all give up so easily. You let somebody punk you out of your heritage as Americans. You let these racist Caucasians punk you out of your heritage as first Americans, as real Americans. So when I see people talking about we FBAs, when I see you talking about we from Africa, we African American, we Pan African, we Daffies and Phoebes and FBA, all that bullshit. When I hear that, that just sounds like punk shit to me. It sounds like punk shit. Especially when we know the truth. See, when we didn't know the truth, we had all the excuses in the world to be, okay, I guess we are African American. Oh, I guess we are black people. But now that we know the truth that we indigenous to America, I don't want to hear people to start talking about, oh, y'all with this indigenous stuff, oh, y'all with this Indian stuff, or y'all pretendians like Tariq Nasheed did. He still disrespected who we are as indigenous people. He is, because he called us pretendians. And he also said that, according to him and them people, if you're not federally recognized by the U.S. government, then you're not an Indian. So in other words, a bunch of fucking foreigners get to tell us that we not indigenous to America. A bunch of foreigners who not American themselves. No place else do people get to come into a country and become what that is. In other words, no matter how long I stay in Italy, if I move my family, I'm not going to be Italian by nationality. No, I am not. I'm not going to be Italian. You only get one nationality. You don't get 2 and 3 goddamn nationalities. Cut it out. When they was doing, these Caucasians was doing that BS, Italian American, French American, German American, Irish American. They made that shit up. There's no such thing. You don't get no damn 2 nationalities. Then they attach that bullshit to us, African American. Why they didn't call us Ghanaian Americans before if they got us from Ghana? Because they say we came from West Africa. What parts of West Africa, and why they didn't call us that in the first place? They lying. They making this up, and they get a lot of Boule Sambo coons who put on all this African dashiki shit like Umar Johnson and come out here and talk all this. And these people, like I said, that's nothing but a costume with them people. They just come out here to get money. They get money to lie to our people, man. They get money to mislead our people. You see? They get money to mislead our people. We got some trolls in here. We got some trolls in here. Yeah, there's plenty of evidence of what I'm saying. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. There's plenty of evidence. There's plenty of evidence. I'll read some evidence right now. You can go look this up. Describing, you say I'm making it up? So you saying that Black Americans were not at one time called American Indians, and then they were reclassified as American Negro. You sure you want to stand on that? Because you sound like a troll right now. Yeah, we pretendians, right. You the pretendian, but you hiding behind, what are you hiding behind? You the one that's a pretendian. You going to sit up here and tell us about our culture. Well, what are you? Original indigenous? What are you? Are you Native American? Original indigenous? Are you Native American? Are you Native American, original indigenous? Are you Native American? I'm asking you a question. Yeah, I'm going to get him out of here in a minute. He's just a troll. Yeah, I got his ass out of here. I got him out of here. They come in here because, like I said, they mad the truth coming out. Why? Ask yourself a question. Why don't they ever, pose the question? Why don't they ever challenge? Why don't they ever produce a scholar to challenge what we saying? How come they never produce scholars to say, you know what? I'm looking to debate your Dan Callaways and your Mike TVs. I want an open debate proving that the Native Americans are the real indigenous Americans. Why they don't never do that? Why do they resort to trolling? Why don't they ever, if they feel they got this much information and they know what they saying is the truth and that they the real indigenous Americans and that they the first Americans, if they feel that way, how come they have not produced just one Native American scholar who knows the history and can prove that they're indigenous to America? How come they haven't done that? See, you know why? Because they know what we're saying is the truth, and they feel they can troll their way out of it by sitting up here calling us names. That shows you that they are mentally inferior. These racist Native Americans, because again, the white people that's in their tribes, that's their people, that's their homeboys. A lot of them come from a mixed race with those people. So again, they want to be known as the Americans. And if they got to steal our culture, they got to steal our heritage, they got to lie, they got to get with the white man, they'll do that. And Like I said, they come on. We want to be wobbles. How we want to be like y'all? We don't even know who y'all are. We other than seeing y'all dancing on the damn reservation, y'all sit up here doing our dances. You doing this crip walk and all that. Then talking about y'all did the original crip walk. Y'all got to resort to stealing our celebrities. Y'all sit up here and claim James. What y'all say? Y'all claim Michael Jackson is indigenous. You said Michael Jackson, Chuck Berry. You got to claim all American, all Black American indigenous people as your own. That's because y'all ain't got nobody. Y'all ain't got nobody to represent y'all so-called Native Americans. So you got to start claiming our people, claiming that they mix with Native American. You a liar. Those people are American Indians. Y'all are not American Indians. Native Americans are not American Indians. They are Mongoloids. They are the first. These are your first immigrants into America. You're Native Americans. You know they're the first immigrants into America from Siberia. They're not American. They're not indigenous to America. But because they, along with their kind, been just stealing our culture and trying to erase our people, we can't let that happen. And that's why I said it seemed like they all work in unison together. The racist Caucasians, the racist Native Americans, the simple-minded Black Coonches community that believe they came from Africa on slave ships. All these clowns work together. They all sitting up here calling us pretendians. And we got all the proof to prove that we are the real indigenous people. So that what that proves is that they disingenuous. Then Tariq Nasheed turns around and says, yeah, well, you know, the copper-colored races, he tried to make reference to us as the copper-colored races. Now, it's too late now, man. You already said we black-skinned people. Now you want to talk about copper-colored? Which one is it? Are we the copper-colored people that's spoken about in the 1828 Merriam-Webster Dictionary? Or are we black-skinned people? Tariq Nasheed, he like to cause a lot of confusion, man. He caused a lot of confusion with that FBA bullshit. I'm going to say it just like it is. And again, this ain't no personal shot at him. This is a one-off. But like I said, he got to go up there. He's no different than Umar Johnson. They make it seem like they different, but they not no different. They're the same ones. Anybody that's telling us that we not indigenous to America and America only, they don't trust them. They lying to our people. They lying to our people. They tell us that we got a black lineage, a Negro lineage. There's no black lineage. There's no Negro lineage. Those are titles that came from racist Caucasians. And if they want to uphold those titles, that shows you whose side they really on. Because anybody that's going to sit up here and lie to our people, we shouldn't be listening to them, man. Anybody's going to sit up here and tell lies to our people, we shouldn't be listening to them. Again, like I said, do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. Yeah. Well, no, he already said he gonna start changing it already. He already started saying, oh, well, you know, the copper. He mentioned the 1828 Merriam-Webster Dictionary definition of American. So which one is it? Do we got black skin? Because he keeps trying to say we got black skin. Then now we got copper skin. So what are you saying? If you're saying we African, you saying we African and we part African, part American. So you saying we African American again. He's saying the same thing that Jesse Jackson was saying. African American. He's saying we African American. If we are part of an ethnogenesis according to the FBA teaching that we came from Africa on slave ships and mixed in with the indigenous black people here, that's something Tariq Nasheed, by the way, made up. He made that up. You see, that's not true. Because again, they didn't bring no Africans into North America. They were brought into South, and you could see their influence right there. And their religion, their culture was left in South America. A lot of their culture is in South America. I'm not saying everybody mixed in with them. Of course not, because again, they were a very small minority. I told you, Africans, you could clearly see how the look of Africans. You could tell the Africans versus the indigenous people. You could look at them and tell the difference. So for people to sit up here and keep lying to us and whatnot, obviously these people are serving another agenda when they sit up here and lie to us. You see, when they sit up here and lie to us, they obviously, you know what I'm saying, serve another agenda. You see. And like I said, this is why things like the First American Street Music Festival are important. Have everybody been donating to this? I want a show of hands. Do y'all understand why this is important to have the First American Street Music Festival and showing ourselves as First Americans? Do y'all understand how important this is? That we pop out as First Americans, letting it be known that we standing up as real Americans of America. We not claiming black no more, African American. We ain't doing that no more. And even if it's a small minority of our people within, like I said, they claim, that's fine. Because it's always the minorities that end up shifting the greater populace any damn way when we strong and we stand on it. So has everybody been donating? Has everybody been donating to the first American Street Music Festival? It's good that our people get in here and they love hearing this knowledge and whatnot, because ain't nobody gonna give it to you raw and uncut like this. Nobody's gonna give it to you raw and uncut like this. Has everybody been contributing to that? Because I hear a lot of lip service, but let's move these numbers up. This is happening in May. If y'all want this to happen in May, we got to make this happen, because without your support, this is not going to happen. Has everybody been donating to the first American Street Music Festival, FASM Fest? Go out here and treat this like, I'm talking about not just my people in the community. I'm talking about people outside who listen to this message, who want to be a part of the community, who want to contribute to the community, who want to make sure that we pull off this first American Street Music Festival. You see, we need to make this happen ASAP. We need your help. We need donations to come in. So go to phasmfest.com. Let's make this happen. Has anybody been donating to this? I'm asking everybody a question. I'm serious about this, because this is how we start to, make things happen. That's how we start to make things happen. We about to come into March. This festival takes place in May. We need to move that number. We got food vendors interested. If you have a business you want to promote, you should be sponsoring. This should force everybody to become more business minded, because we're building our own network here. We're building our own network to do business with one another, to get to know one another. This is the best way to do it. If we're networking in reality of who we truly are as Americans, building our American community, letting it be known that we are the first American. We're not like the people who are calling themselves American. All those people who call themselves American are generic Americans, because the United States don't just basically let everybody call themselves American who come here. Like I said, you can't do that in no other country. The white man, they always take our stuff and just all lives matter it to everybody. The term American solely belong to the copper-colored races who were found here. And they're not talking about the Mongoloid Native Americans, because none of them people got no copper skin. They're talking about the copper-colored race. You barely see them people here. You barely see them people throughout the Americas. So how is it talking about them? Like I said, you know why they show them as the indigenous people? They try to make you believe that these people are indigenous to America. It's the very same lie that they tell when they try to get you to believe. Because I saw this children's cartoon where they promoting the Olmecs and the Aztec as these white looking, or these brown looking Latinos, right, with straight hair. See, because they'll promote them as in our place. Here it is, the actual images of the Olmecs, the Aztec, the Inca, the Mayan people. You got bone and Park temples, pictures of these people on walls, civilizations all over the walls of indigenous so-called black people on the walls. That's where we descend from. We descend from the Mesoamericans, which are the Olmecs, the Aztec, the Inca, the Mayan. We descend from them. That's where all the indigenous black, so-called black tribes came from South America into North America. We spread all out all over the place. So we have a vast history, a vast American lineage here. Our American lineage is connected to us. American lineage has nothing to do with white people. They are considered the invaders of America. They are considered the invaders. Okay? So I'm going to ask everybody again, all the people sitting there like y'all like what's being said, are y'all contributing to the first American Street Music Festival? Are y'all contributing? We trying to make this happen. We're going to make this happen. We need your help. The people that's sitting up here, like I said, y'all should be making sure that y'all donating to this. Y'all getting your friends, family members to donate to this. You even sponsoring this. Get your family members together to sponsor this. Come on out. This is a family event. This is what we showing the world, that this is bigger than just being online claiming we American Indians, we American, we Indian. Well, no, man. Jumping around with feathered headdresses, all that shit look good. But when it comes down to actually living it, because again, see, I don't even like the term Indian. We just use the term first Americans, man. We don't even use the term Indian, because Indian is a time that came and gone where we was just being culturally indigenous people. And Indian, again, that was a term that was misapplied to our people. You see, We just simply are Americans, first Americans of America. And American Indians, we Americans. We dropped that term Indian because, again, I don't want to, we're not trying to be linked, we don't want to be linked to the so-called Native Americans. We don't want to be linked to them. We're not linked to them, but like I said, we just first Americans. We first Americans of America. You can't get no more realer than that. So I'm going to ask again, who is supporting the First American Street Music Festival? Does everybody in here agree with this message? Yes or no? Does everybody in here agree with these? Does everybody agree with this message tonight? That's a real question. Does everybody agree with this message? Yes or no? I'm waiting on the answer. Does everybody agree with this message? Yes or no? Does everybody agree with this message? I want to see a show of yeses in here. Does everybody agree with this message? Does everybody agree with this message? So those of you who are listening to this broadcast, who agree with this message that we are the first and only real Americans, and that we're not going to be sitting up here letting people call us African Americans no more, black no more, FBA. We're not going to let nobody sneak in and call us anything and call us out of our name no more. If you agree with this message, I'm talking about the people, not just in my community. I'm talking about the people that's listening here on the outside. If you agree with this message, if you feel this is real, then you should be donating to the First American Street Music Festival. Our people are already doing it. We need outside help. We need more people contributing to this. Let's not punk out and, because again, when you're not standing up for something, it's like you complicit with the lie. You see, when enough of our people are not standing together as an indigenous community, a First American community, we should all be standing together to make sure that these lies don't stand. And we should be supporting anything that's promoting who we are, the reality, the truth of who we are as First Americans. We should be standing with that. We should be standing on that business as First Americans. So if you truly acknowledge that this message is real, then you should know the importance of the First American Street Music Festival, FASM Fest. FASM Fest, FASMFEST. Go to FASM Fest and donate. Donate to the Cash App, $ROA, $ROA Collective, or go right to the Better World link. It might not work on here because YouTube is hating. So go to phasmfest.com and you'll find the link inside of the Phasm Fest site where you can donate. Bring sponsorship, bring your family members, let them donate. Let's make this happen, man. Let's make this happen. Come on, just put some energy in this. Let's not just sit up here and twiddle our thumbs. We made it happen last year by the skin of our teeth. We don't want to have to do that like that no more. We raise the money, but it's slow coming in. Let's make it happen. Let's pick up this pace. Those of you who want to perform, those of you who want to sponsor, those of you who want to donate, go to phasmfest.com, FASMFEST.com. Donate to that. The link is down in the description. Also, those of you who acknowledge who we are as First Americans, come home to the Republic of America, ROA Worldwide, become a registered First American in the Republic of America, where we will have our own First American Constitution, our own First American, our own laws and orders and codes and bylaws for our community. And there's nothing wrong with doing that because we need to clean up our people. We need to fix and clean up our people with the truth of who they are as Americans. That's what we need to do. We don't need our people being black and African American. As soon as we let people call us black and African American, that was the downfall of our people as Americans, as First Americans. So go to ROAWorldwide.com, become a registered member of the Republic of America, become a registered First American in the Republic of America. Go to, give a thumbs up to this, of course, give a thumbs up to this cast tonight. Give a thumbs up to this cast and subscribe. Share the cast and whatnot with the indigenous groups, the indigenous family. Share this information, subscribe to this channel and also to my other channel, the Realist channel, featuring me, Mr. Buck Manhattan over there. So go over there and subscribe to that as well. Go to Enrod's sister Vincetta's American Indigenous channel. She has a very good channel. Go to the American Indigenous channel, subscribe to that. She is very informative. Check out Mike TV. Check out One Mike History. So I give shout outs, man, for people who, you know, got good content. I'm not a hater. I'm not jealous. I don't try to hoard all the energy. Go to One Mike History. One Mike History is good. Go to Mike TV. He's good. Go to Dan Calloway even. He's good. Yeah. And go to our sister, our good sister, Fazetta Mentangela, American Indigenous channel, the American Indigenous channel. Also, get your draconianrules.com, get your t-shirts and whatnot from Draconian Rules, quality stuff. So again, please donate to, I'm gonna put it in there again, Phasm Fest. We want to see the family out there. We want to see the family out there at Phasm Fest in May 16th and 17th at Rodney Cook Senior Park. May 16th and 17th. That's a Saturday and Sunday. We got 2 whole days to party. We're gonna have the trail rides out there. We're gonna have live music out there. We're gonna have DJ out there. We're gonna have a fashion show out there. We're gonna have vendors out there, food. We're gonna have the feathered headdresses out there. We're gonna have a lot of beautiful t-shirts, First American t-shirts. We're gonna be turning up out there. We're gonna have a good time, a very good time celebrating our First American heritage. That's how we stand strong and let the world know we're not taking no shorts as no African Americans no more. We ain't letting people deny us who we are no more. We're not sitting by letting people tell us about our history, because y'all don't know how weak that looks. It looks very weak and very disgusting to me that you sitting up here letting other people tell us about our damn history, people who not even American. You gonna sit up here and tell me, oh, do we get we gotta be federally recognized to be considered indigenous people? That's what I'm saying. Okay, then fuck that. I don't want to be indigenous. I don't want to be Indian. I mean to say, I don't want to be an Indian, a so-called Indian, if I gotta get federally recognized. Why am I gonna get federally recognized from the people who are not even Americans? Number one, and number two, these are the same people that purposely misclassified us in the first place. So why am I going to go to them and ask for any kind of federal recognition? For what? For what? That's like asking for a pat on the head from the master to get permission to start calling yourself American Indians. We ain't getting no fucking permission. We first Americans. We are first Americans of America. That's it. That's all. So let's make this happen. Let's make this happen. Let's make this happen. Go to Phasm Fest. Put it in there. I want to see some donations come up in here. I want to see people saying, yo, I'm donating this for the family. I'm making this happen. We want to, you know, we need people who could act as agents to get donations coming in. We need it all, man. We want the outside help. Our people are doing this. We're the only ones standing up for who we are as first Americans. We the only ones doing this. I'm going to just say this. A lot of these guys that's on YouTube, that's saying it, that's good and all, but as far as it go with a lot of these people, man, they'll just be up on YouTube, like your guy Kareemio. They'll be up on YouTube and they'll make money off of and profit off of promoting our culture, like Kareemio and them. And when it came time to, you know, shout out the festival and be like, yeah, this is something now that black people should be, black indigenous American so-called black people should. Now he ain't with that. So, but whatever, man. It's okay. Like I said, a lot of these people are fake. They just want money, and this is just another hustle for them. But for us, this is not a hustle. This is us embracing our true identity. And you didn't see me flinch when I said we first Americans. I didn't flinch. That's our lineage. American is our lineage. American lineage is our lineage. No black lineage, no African lineage. That's it. Let's step up and claim what's ours. This is our country. Ain't nobody telling us to go to no goddamn Africa. You see, this is our country. This is our home. We built this country. Our blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors in slavery built this country's economy. Fought in every war. So ain't nobody telling us to go no goddamn way. Tired of turning tail and running and letting people tell us who the hell we are. Y'all sitting up here letting these racist ass snow monkeys tell you that you from Africa. Well, let's make a damn statement and say, no, in the hell we not. We first Americans of America only. And anybody who ain't with that, take your punk ass down the road. Go be African American. Take your punk asses down the road and be African Americans and black Americans and FBAs and all that other weird shit and whatnot. Like I said, we don't need no little acronyms and side shit to label us. We Americans. Straight up. So that's it. Thank you for listening. I'll be back Friday. I had to get a little raw and uncut in here. I'll be back on Friday. And I'm going to be on screen live But yeah, go to FASMFest.com. We need your help. Donate FASMFest. Go to FASMFest. I put it in there. And if you want to become a registered member of the Republic of America, ROA Worldwide. ROA Worldwide. Let's stop sitting on the sidelines. If y'all really about this, that's how we make change. When we get our people who really about it, they want to come in and make change, man. They want to be first Americans. We want to be known, and we are going to be known as first Americans of America. That's it, man. That's all. We ain't taking no more shorts. So I want to thank you all for hanging in there with me. Closing us out in the name of Lord Amen, by the power of Lord Amen, and Lord Amen we trust, and Lord Amen we thank, and Lord Amen we continue forward forever. Oh, also go to my Mentellect Patreon. Become a member of my Mentellect Patreon. Only $15 a month. We out here the realest and the rawest, uncut teaching. I teach every night and whatnot. We have to get ready for my class tonight on StreamYard. But we, put the cast on Mentellect Patreon. So become a patron of Mentellect Patreon. All right. Good night.